YoloBox. YOLO. You only live once? In a box? Let's unbox the YoloBox.
Ta-da!
So it's unboxed, but what exactly is it? Well, it's a video audio switcher that can cut and wipe between multiple sources, even graphics, which you control using this very impressive and bright touchscreen monitor. And it's got a built-in encoder, so it's very easy to go live to multiple places at once using Wi-Fi, Ethernet, or even your own 4G if you put your SIM card in it. Alternatively, you can record your program onto the internal SD card and maybe edit it later. But what makes this box different is this box is all you need. It even has a built-in battery that will run for over 3 hours, making it a very portable solution for going live almost anywhere. When I started shooting news, you needed a whole van to do that, in standard definition. And that came with a grumpy engineer called Nigel, who needed feeding on sausage rolls and coffee. And he smelt a bit as well. Anyway, back to the amazing tech we've got today. Let's take a look at what's on this YoloBox. And on the top here, you've got two HDMI inputs. These seem to cope with anything from 540p up to 1080p or even interlaced. In fact, everything HD that I've thrown down an HDMI, this seems to cope with. You also get a USB 3 input, which is great for plugging in webcams and things like that. Alternatively, you can buy one of these cheap HDMI to USB 3 adapters, capture stick, I don't know what you call them, but effectively this gives you 3 HDMI inputs and it works very well. You also have an HDMI output, the Ethernet socket for connecting to the net, an audio input, which is great if you want to plug in an external microphone or have a separate source from the HDMI sources just for the audio. You've also got USB-C for powering the unit. On the bottom, you've got your audio output, again 3.5mm for headphones or recording on something externally. You've got a SIM card slot for your 4G SIM card, ⅛20 for mounting it on top of a DSLR or mirrorless, and you've got your SD card slot for recording or playing back videos from your SD card as a source. So enough about the sockets. Let's get it connected. So what I've connected here is the FX9 that you're looking through now plugged into HDMI input 1, an A7 III plugged into input 2, and an A7 hanging over the top that's plugged through the USB adapter into input 3. Now, the very first time that you turn the YoloBox on, you're going to need to register your account with YoloLive. This is key because when you buy a YoloBox, you're not just buying the hardware, you're also buying access to their very clever YoloLive media server. It's this server, or cloud if you prefer, that manages the video streaming from the box to wherever you want to go live, or even multiple places at once. There's no subscription, it's all part of the deal, and it's what makes this going live so easy and accessible to everyone. You only need to register once, just put in all your social media or RTMP account details and YoloLive will do the rest. Now the YoloBox knows my account details, I can set up the switcher. Just start a new project by giving it a name and we can jump right in. Here are the sources I've already plugged in, 1, 2 and 3. We can also use videos from the SD card as a source, although obviously you can't play and record on the same SD card simultaneously. Alternatively, you can use a web stream as another source, a PDF, graphics, or even set up a picture-in-picture feed like this. You can have up to 5 sources, but it's easy to swap and add different sources even in the middle of your live program. Once you've got all your sources set up on the left, you can now adjust your other preferences on the right-hand side of the screen. The first page allows you to organise the graphics, like name supers and image overlays. Editing and formatting is all done from the touchscreen, and it's very logical. You can also load in your own graphics from the SD card, like my new extrashot dog. The second page allows you to set what platforms you want to use. You can choose up to 3 simultaneously. I'll set up a live for the extrashot YouTube channel, but I'll keep it unlisted so I don't excite millions of subscribers. I can see on my laptop that the feed is already prepared and waiting. If this was public, everybody would now know that there was a live program scheduled. On the third page, you can control all your audio. You can either let it follow the whole video switcher or choose one source as your main audio. So obviously, I just want HDMI 1 and nothing else. On the fourth page, you can set up a scoreboard. Page 5 allows you to monitor any comments you get from YouTube or Facebook during the transmission. At the moment, it'll only display up to 100 comments live, so obviously not quite big enough for all of my subscribers. And finally, page 6 allows you to set all the other preferences, including setting your transitions. As well as cuts, you can fade, wipe, slice, and even zoom. Now I've got my production set up, going live is as easy as hitting the Go Live button. I'd give it about 15 seconds to settle down with a graphic or an intro before you start. But pretty quickly the status of your stream is displayed at the top and you're away. I'm just connected with my very average Wi-Fi in here, but we can see that we're not reporting any drop frames at all. I must say that the way the YoloLive servers deal with all sorts of flaky connections and yet still serve respectable quality video is very impressive. So now we're going live with multiple cameras, graphics and all the toys, and it couldn't have been much easier to set up, all from this one little box. But of course the other possibility is doing all of this from anywhere. So I ventured outside. Last time I wore this coat, people thought I had a mullet. It looks warm out here, but it's really not. It's freezing. But we're now live on YouTube using the YoloBox, and you're looking at me through my Sony a7S Mark III, which is connected with an HDMI cable straight into the YoloBox. I've also got an a7 III with my trusty Hollyland Mars 400S Pro wireless transmitter, which is also linked into the YoloBox. You can hear me through a Lark 150, which is cabled straight to the camera, wirelessly of course. And all of this, let me show you the setup, all of this is without any cables. This is all running on battery. Quite a neat setup, I can do it on my own. It's a bit bright for you to see the screen. I don't know how much you can see there, but I can switch just by tapping the screen. I can get rid of that name super. Again, just by touching the screen, and this is portable and very easy to use. The whole thing is tethered to my phone, which is in my pocket, and then it goes off to YouTube. This is genius. It's so portable and so easy to use that I'm just staggered. If I have one complaint, it's that you can't vision mix with mittens on because it's so cold. But what a time to be alive. So you can probably tell, I'm impressed with this YoloBox and the YoloLive server that comes with it. It makes the whole process of going live easy and available to everyone from almost any location. But you should also know that I haven't actually bought this YoloBox. It was sent to me so I could review it. So it's fair to think that I might be biased. The problem is, I'm also a huge fan of what many people seem to think is the main competitor to this YoloBox, the Blackmagic Design ATEM Mini Pro. That's also a very clever and flexible live camera switcher. I personally use and love the Blackmagic ATEM TV Studio because I need SDI for longer cable runs and multiple outputs for live events. But here's the twist, because I'm going to argue that reviews comparing the YoloBox to the ATEM Mini Pro, they're sort of missing the point, For many jobs, they don't compete. They actually complement each other, and there's often a good reason for having both. Just take your program output, feed it through the YoloBox, so you can use YoloLive's server for the live transmission, and it's like having Nigel the engineer to deal with all the boring technical stuff, while creatives like us can carry on being creative. Thanks for watching.